So there's this new girl, or I say new girl, she's been there for a little bit now, but we're very similar in our tastes. She's the one that
The one that called you a whore.
yes. And she likes Disney musicals, right? And I was having like a rough day at work and I was like, "Hey, do you know that song from Tangled, When Will My Life Begin?" That's me right now. Because I was just like, I'm having a bad day and I just want to go home. So, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I hate that movie." And I just stare at her in disbelief. Just like, "Are you serious right now?" And she's like, "Yeah, no, I don't like it." And then I was just gonna let it go, but she's like, she just elaborates on it, and she's like, "You know what I hate most? That one song, I See the Light."
Oh,
And
you mean the main song in the movie?
I just lost it. I was like, I don't even know who you are anymore. How do you hate the best song?
Hello, listeners, and thank you for tuning into Those Nerds Over There. This is an enthusiast podcast centered around celebrating and discussing nerd culture. We're your hosts. I'm Alan.
And I'm Sal.
And Sal, we are back from our good friend Jacob's wedding.
Yes.
Hello, listeners. I hope you didn't miss us too much.
And congratulations to the happy couple.
Yes.
At least I hope they're happy.
So cynical, Sal. No, but was it for listeners who don't know, we were at our friend Jacob's wedding. He is probably the whole reason me and you even know each other, and the whole reason this show exists because of that.
Yes. He was also a guest on one of our episodes.
This is true. He talked about Dwarf Fortress, and that brought back some PTSD.
Oh, man.
And in other news, I also wanted to say thank you and congratulations to my co-host Sal. Last week he released his own solo episode, and I was listening to it on my way to work, and I thought it was amazing.
Thank you. Your kind words are too much.
Well, it's true. I thought it was really well written, and I had told you this later, but I'm gonna tell the audience now. Like, I thought it was very insightful, and it made me want to like write up a script for another a solo thing.
Yes, it was very difficult for me, but it did make me realize I actually work better when I have someone to bounce off of, which is very strange because I'm a very just me kind of person, very solitary.
Well, I'm glad I could be your rubber duck.
You're welcome.
All the congratulations out of the way. Let's go to our nerd themed question, shall we?
Yes.
All right, for first time listeners, thank you so much for joining us. This is what we call the nut jar. It's just a jar we filled with listener submitted questions that are just really fun discussion questions. Like, Sal, what's been some of your favorite questions so far?
Some of my favorite questions?
Mm-hmm.
That's difficult because I do really like questions that make me think, but at the same time, I'm just sitting there, just blank-faced, trying to figure this question out in my head. And so I think some of the most fun questions were the ones that are kind of just simple, like surprisingly the one about the homeless Pokemon trainers.
That's right. That was submitted by my friend Jeff. He had just asked, which character from Pokemon do you think was most likely to become homeless?
So yeah, that was very interesting.
But listener, if you have a kind of fun question like that and you want to shout out on the show, feel free to send those questions to us at ThoseNerdsCast on Twitter or our email, thosenerdscast@gmail.com. If you do send in a cool question, be sure to include some kind of social media tag so we can direct people towards you. But without further ado... Oh, okay. We pulled an old question.
Oh, I didn't know there were any old questions left.
Well, let's go semi-old, but this one is from our friend Kazel and former co-host.
Okay.
You can find her on Twitter at Kazeloo, Cazeloo. She is an artist by trade, and I'm very proud to own some Spider-Man prints from Into the Spider-Verse from her. But today, Kazel asks, what anime character do you relate to most?
Oh, snap. I like this question.
How revealing is this going to be, Sal?
I'm kind of drawing a blank because all I know right now is Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I was going to ask, would you consider Fire Emblem characters anime characters?
I don't think so, but just for the sake of getting out of the way, Ignatz.
Oh my god, I was going to say
we
Ignatz
just talked
too.
about this.
We were just talking about Ignatz.
Oh man, he's so me. He's great. And oh man, you have to get to his supports with Mary Ann. They're so good.
I just got the B support with Mary Ann. It was nice.
Nice.
Took her out to see the sunset.
Yes. He's great. I love him. She's great too. She's the new waifu. Anyway.
But they aren't anime.
Yes. They might look it, but they're not. This is hard because I'm thinking of anime protagonists, which I hate usually. So I don't think I can say I relate to an anime protagonist.
Did you have a oh gosh, what are the non-protagonists called? Side characters in mind?
No.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, I had someone in mind just because it's recent, so, recency bias and whatnot, but I was thinking, I kind of relate to Shinra from Fire Force a lot.
Really?
Kinda. I think it really came about when Overwatch was released, and the whole, and because of the MCU, and there was this one night I had been watching Netflix with my roommates, and it was I can't even remember what the show was, but it was kind of like a how it's made, but explaining things in the world. And we were watching some episodes about the water crisis and the wage gap. And I remember I just started crying. And I was thinking inside, man, I want to be a hero.
Nice.
Yeah. And also Shinra does that thing where he has to smile when shit gets awkward. And the first time I donated blood, I was so fucking nervous that I started laughing. And even after the needle went in, I was in that bench and I was laughing and I was shaking and other people were looking at me like I was a lunatic.
That's great. I love that.
Thank you.
Now I have to kind of look out for your smile and wonder. I just said anime protagonists don't come to mind, but one does come to mind actually. Naofumi.
Who?
Naofumi from Shield Hero.
Oh, dude, I still haven't seen Shield Hero. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So he's very different than most anime protagonists. He starts off as this very happy-go-lucky idiot that thinks he's in this other world and things are just gonna go right. But then everything goes wrong. And he turns into this very cynical, just this really awful person that just kind of wants to get back at the world out of spite. But he actually has a really good heart. And I feel like that's kind of me because I'm very cynical, but I'm not as bad as I portray myself sometimes.
Are you okay, Sal?
So I'm gonna go with that since nothing else comes to mind.
All right, then here, how about this? What is an anime character that you think I resemble? And I'll try to think of something for you too. Because I feel like that's a very harsh description of yourself, Sal. I think you're pretty great.
I mean, thank you, but I'm very self-deprecating, I guess. One that comes to mind for me because of recency bias is, oh man, why can't I remember names? The main protagonist of Demon Slayer.
Oh, well, Tanjiro.
Tanjiro, yeah. I can see that being you because he's just very compassionate
Oh, thank you. My mind went. My awful mind went to the fact that he had a sister complex.
He doesn't, though. It's so pure.
Oh, thank you, Sal.
You love your sister, right?
I do. I have a very close relationship with my sister, and I'm very thankful that she is like one of my closest friends.
There you go. But yeah, that's what I got for you.
I'm realizing I put out the prompt, but I don't really know too many anime characters.
Snap. I mean, it's kind of hard because like some of the, I don't know, it's a lot of the characters that I like aren't like me, and I think that's the point why you like characters sometimes.
Because, wait, go on.
Because they're like so different that you're just like seeing a different perspective. But I guess at the same time you'd want to relate to characters. I don't know. I guess I'm weird.
And I'm just stuck on Fire Emblem characters. I'm so sorry.
Right? It's so hard because that's all we know right now. Oh man. I'm going to pull up Crunchyroll real quick.
It's like, I was thinking My Hero Academia, and part of me was thinking like Tokoyami. Just kind of like the mixtures of just like social awkwardness, but like some very genuine sincerity.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I was also like, you're a very hardworking person, Sal. So I was thinking like Deku, but I mean, technically everyone in that show's hardworking.
Yeah, I mean, Deku's too pure for this world, and I'm not that.
Oh, you don't think you're a cinnamon roll?
No, not at all. If some other people do, that's great, but our friend Jake, the one that just got married, he actually... Did you ever watch Hunter x Hunter?
I did.
He thinks that...
oh, yeah, I feel like you're Killua.
Yeah, he thinks we have a very Gon and Killua relationship. Me being Killua. So...
It's like that. See, there you go. You had one.
All right. I'm okay with this. He's my boy. I like him. The Promised Neverland.
Oh, God.
Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
I don't think any of us are that broken. Or at least not us. I'd like to think.
We're not that broken. Oh, man. Maybe you just think too highly of us. Full Metal Alchemist. Now, we're not that broken.
No, yeah, we...
That's kind of broken. We are not. Persona's technically an anime.
Oh my gosh, it is.
But I haven't played the game, so only you would know the characters.
I know. I'm trying to think, like, characters. I mean, you could kind of be kind of a Yusuke when it comes to, like, the aesthetic things. He's an artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's kind of extra.
I don't know if extra is in my repertoire.
I want to say it is, just from like hanging out with you at restaurants.
It's okay. I don't know how to take that, but
no, I love it. It's great.
Your Lie in April.
I have not. Oh my god, someone dies in that one.
That's the girl, though. It's fine. I'm the guy.
I haven't seen that one. I'm just gonna go. I feel bad I couldn't come up with anything, but that like Gon Killua comparison I think is very true.
Okay, I'm fine with this. I like that.
Yeah, like you've got. I feel like you not maybe like the murderous, but more of the, some of those sinister elements in you. But overall, I think you try your hardest for your friends, and you try your hardest to be a better person, Sal. And overall,
thank you.
Overall, Sal, I think you're just a very hardworking person.
I mean, thank you, but I don't see that.
No,
but you know. I don't like myself very much. Anyway.
Oh, no, okay. Yeah, no, anyway, I think we spent too long trying to praise each other.
Yes, thank you. We're good friends. Just throwing this out there real quick, though. Keizel.
Oh?
Ochako?
Aw.
That's her. I'm just throwing that out there real quick.
But
Anime, folks.
there we go. Oh my goodness. All right, listeners, is there an anime character that you relate to? I mean, because we'd love to hear. And, I think, like my co-host, Sal, here, a lot of us nerds are kind of prone to modesty and borderline self-effacing kind of descriptions of ourselves. But I encourage you to, if you find an anime character you relate to, list out the positives, because I'm pretty sure you're great.
Yeah. And this actually reminds me of one of those like Twitter challenges, like post the 3 characters you relate to most, except this time it's only exclusive to anime.
Okay, then let's do that.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, folks, post the anime character you relate to.
Yes.
And I do encourage that you write something positive about yourself, please. Before we move on, we wanted to take this moment to thank our patrons. So thank you, Eloy. Thank you so very much. I know we missed a week back there, so, thank you so much for sticking with us. Thanks to your support that we get to make this show. I just started a recent job, and now more than ever, this hour that exists because of you means so much more to me, because, I don't know, just blocking out that moment to be happy. So thank you so much, Eloy. So, Sal.
Yes.
What did you get excited about this week?
All right. So, first of all, I'm glad I'm going first.
Oh.
I thought you were.
I had to check I had to check this morning. I'm like, oh wait, who's going first again?
And it's funny because I was like, oh man, I'm going to end this on a not positive note.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I want to preface this by saying I want to be excited for this. I'm more hopeful, I guess.
Hopeful's good.
Yeah, so my topic is the TV show Titans is getting a season 2.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, and they released a teaser trailer, which is only like 50 seconds long.
Consider me teased.
Right? But it just packs like so much information in that 50 seconds.
Like information that you can parse?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. But for anyone who knows me, I hated the crap out of season 1. So I'm just going to get my little rant out of the way for season 1 real quick to catch everyone up.
By all means.
So, yeah, I did not like season 1. But the good thing about season 1 was, so this was the DC Universe's first attempt at a TV show on their new app, which is just DC Universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like their way of trying to push the envelope and see what they could actually get away with in terms with like mature and edgy storytelling. And oh boy, did it not pay off, at least for Titans. But it did like lead the way for other great shows like Doom Patrol and Swamp Thing and this new R.I.P. Swamp Thing, which had nothing to do with how good it was, which kind of sucks. But now, like, a new Harley Quinn series is coming out, too. And they've got other things in the works. So I think it did, even though it was terrible, it did lead to better things.
Yeah, like, literally everything else that came out of DC Universe has been pretty amazing.
Yeah, and it sucks that they kind of led in with this terrible thing. But at least they're, like, picking up, you know, the pieces of that, and they have amazing shows on there. I think it's well worth the price tag now, especially with the amount of comics they've been like importing and just animated movies and stuff. So it's been really good. But so Titans season 1 was like just a garbage fire of a show. And I feel like I'm being too harsh on it, but oh man.
I mean, the only information we have so far is season 1 is bad.
Yeah, so Season 1 follows all the Teen Titans, or at least from the animated TV show that we kind of grew up on. So Robin, Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, and who am I missing?
Cyborg?
Oh, okay, Cyborg's not in it. So not Cyborg. Yeah, those 4. And the problem is they're all in different stages of life when the show starts, which isn't that much of a problem, but it's the way they do it. So Robin has already been a hero at the beginning of the season, and he doesn't want to be a hero anymore. So you already begin the show with this weird conflict of him not wanting to do this, even though he's supposed to be a part of this team. And then you have Raven, who is the youngest. She's basically a child.
Oh.
Like, I think she's barely a teenager at this point, and she is just learning about who she is, so she has no idea how to use her powers or where her powers come from. Beast Boy is a part of the Doom Patrol-ish, because, I mean, the Doom Patrol get mentioned, but they're not actually a team yet. And so he doesn't even know how to use his powers, and he's afraid of them, so he only uses them like once in the whole season to turn into a tiger. And that's it. And then Starfire has amnesia for the whole season, so she has no idea who she is. And so it's this weird thing where Robin is trying to help Raven, who is being attacked by this cultist group. And then all these other characters are trying to figure out who they are, but also trying to work as a team, even though they, like, don't get along with each other. And, like, to make matters worse, in every episode they introduce new characters, even though these ones that they're trying to establish have not been established yet. So they bring in, like, Hawk and Dove, Jason Todd, the Doom Patrol, Wonder Girl, etc. And you're trying to figure out who all these characters are while trying to figure out the backstory of the main characters. And it's just so just messed up and weird. And then they have this whole edgy side where Robin is actually like a killer. He doesn't care about all the morals of Batman. He'll just go and murder someone like it's nothing. It's so strange why they made a lot of these decisions.
You can't see my face, but I've been grimacing this whole time.
Yeah, it really sucks. And I mean that's what season 1 was about. It did have this whole like running storyline of Raven trying to escape from these cultists because they're trying to get her to release Trigon, who is, you know, the demon father of Raven. But none of that really matters the whole time. It's kind of just a plot device to get them to fight some people because they're always trying to fight these members of the cult. And nothing really ever happens with them until the very last episode. Trigon gets released, but then it just ends. And yeah, that's where season 1 leaves off. And it just wasn't good. And so season 2, this trailer came out, and at first I was like, I don't think I'm gonna watch season 2. But I decided to look at the trailer, and there's a lot to unpack, but it actually seems like they're doing better. So for one, it seems like the Titans are a team again because you've seen them working together a lot, which in the first season they didn't. And the costumes all look really great, which I think they're trying to use more color in the show because in the first season it was like very dark. They did a lot of like it was like always filmed at night, and it had all these very cool colors, very dark blues and purples and stuff. So it was trying to match this like edgy dark tone, but it wasn't ever doing a good job of it. But this season, it seems to be like kind of making it a little bit more happier. And you see Raven not be super mopey. She actually looks like she's having a good time, which is nice. And she actually has the crystal on her forehead, though, which means Trigon is gone. So I don't know how they're going to resolve that because that's not resolved yet. But And it also it reveals a bunch of characters. So the Titans are actually gonna become the Titans, not the Teen Titans that was in the first season, like the actual Titans. So they're gaining new characters, which might seem like a bad thing because they haven't established the original cast. But I think it's a good idea because they have better characters to play off of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all these characters are kind of like mopey or whatever, but now they're introducing new characters that can probably give life to the team. And so some of the characters they're introducing are Aqualad. Wonder Girl is coming back to be a character on the team. Jason Todd, who was actually a standout in the first season with the little episodes he had, he's going to be on the team. Superboy is going to be on the team. So, I mean, I'm very hopeful. It looks really, really cool. And the best part about it is Trigun's not going to be the villain. It's going to be Deathstroke.
Ooh. Okay, some nostalgia, some familiarity.
Yes, Deathstroke has always been like the best antagonist for the Titans. So I want to say it's hard for them to mess that up, but
I don't know why this thought always pops up when I think about Teen Titans. It's like, it's so weird. This is grown ass adult is fighting these teens.
Yeah, well, the good part is like Robin is not a teenager. He's like an adult, so
what the?
At least there's that.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, that's why they're called the Titans and not the Teen Titans.
Okay.
So yeah, so Raven and Beast Boy, I'm pretty sure are teenagers, but Starfire and Robin are adults.
Okay.
I mean, that's just something they messed up and they kind of have to roll with now. So
I think the animated series did that too.
Which one?
The New 52 movies.
Uh-huh.
Where was it Robin is Nightwing already and Starfire is older. Like they're older already.
Yeah. I didn't care for those either, though.
No, I loved those.
They were okay, but anyway, I think it worked better in that context because Starfire was very much a like mentor in that show instead of, I just like it when they're like teammates, right? They're all on the same playing field.
Yeah, like we like the Teen Titans because they're like happy-go-lucky teens, right?
Right.
And they, occasionally, well, not occasionally, like they have the relatable amount of drama and whatnot, but I don't like, just from the description you're giving me, it just sounds like the whole first season was just depressing.
Yeah. So first season's not great, but I do have hope in this season. The teaser actually starts off with Jason Todd coming up to a camera being very excited, and he's like, the Titans are back. And there's actually a scene that it's like very short, but Robin says, we're not like you, we're teammates and we have each other's backs, which is very very different from what he talked about in the first season. So I think it's gonna be better. But I do want to show you the trailer real quick.
Please. I don't know, like that. You brought up the edgy Robin. I'm like, oh, it's Jason Todd. No, apparently, what, the edgy one is Dick Grayson in this one?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Oh my gosh, they've got Crypto the Super Dog in there.
Yeah, and he's usually a very silly character, so.
In every depiction I've seen, it's pretty great, including this weird summer DC comic I got.
It's true. Crypto's awesome. But, I mean, yeah, I think, as you can clearly see, it's very not what I described the first season, right?
No, I mean, it looks like...
It still has edgy elements, but...
Right, I was gonna say, it looks like a CW show.
Those are great, though.
For you. I'm sorry, like... I mean, and yeah, I got in on the later CW with Riverdale. And the first season of Riverdale was great.
Oh, man, Riverdale.
But let's not talk about that. But no, I mean, that looked pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it definitely... I have high hopes for it, despite the fact that I didn't like the first season and I'm kind of talking down on the show. I promise I'm excited for this new direction they're trying to go in.
If any listeners are hesitant out there based on Sal's description, the overall rating is an 80%, if that means anything.
Interesting.
Sorry, I don't mean that to like say you have no taste.
Oh no, I know of people that thought it was great. I just didn't.
I remember the first trailer, and comparing this trailer to that one, it seems like two completely different shows.
Yeah, it was different.
It was different. And I remember how much of an uproar was that, like, they had Dick Grayson killing people.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of just have to roll with it now, so...
Oh, goodness.
There's things that they're just going to have to roll with, or at least, like, throw under the rug, which, if they just retcon some stuff, I would be completely fine with that.
I remember you had mentioned something like that during Doom Patrol when like Beast Point Raven showed up, and I had been asking like, oh, did this and this and happen? You're like, no, they probably retconned it.
Yeah, which is fine. Doom Patrol's great, and they didn't need to be tied to the Titans.
But when's season 2 coming out for Titans?
It's coming out September 6th.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so it's very close. They're still doing episodic, like once a week kind of episodes for this app, so it's going to be like that. But I mean, I used to not be okay with that until I ran out of time, I guess, because I have to work and stuff. So now I actually like the whole episodic nature of shows. I don't know, it's weird.
Listen, no, I get it. It's just like you don't have time to binge anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my topic. I'm excited for their new direction because I'm very hopeful that they make this good. I love the Titans to death, which you can't really gather from me on this show, but I love Teen Titans, regular Titans, Young Justice. They are my team. So I just have so much love for them, and that's why I'm so critical.
Was it for, people in our generation that grew up watching Cartoon Network? It's just one of those cultural touchstones.
Yeah, that's it. Any questions or anything?
Not really, because I remember we had been talking about when the first show was first coming out and talking about the trailer and being skeptical about it, and unfortunately those... it happened.
Yeah. And I think I would have been okay with it because I remember when the first trailer came out and I thought it was a good thing that they were being edgy. I thought if they just lean towards that and don't try to do anything weird, then it would be fine. But then they kind of just messed up in the character department and just like the world building and stuff. And it just... like, no matter what they did with the edginess, it wasn't going to take away from, like, the bad writing or anything. So, I don't think it has anything to do with the mature filter on it. It just has to do with, like, poor decisions.
Is this show rated TVMA?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused who this show is made for now, then.
I know! I mentioned this, too, because when the Harley Quinn trailer came out, I was like, why are so many shows on the DC app MA when comics are supposed to be more geared towards kids? But all we have is Young Justice. And even that is starting to get more mature-ish. So, I don't know.
I'll put an asterisk next to Young Justice just because I'll bring it up later.
Yeah.
But no, I don't really have any questions.
All right. Well, then that's it for me. Young Justice Season 2 premiering September 6th. So here's hoping. 2. Yes. All right, Alan.
Hello.
What did you get excited about this week?
All right, so literally we did not coordinate this. Somehow, just serendipitously, we both chose topics from the DC universe.
Dun, dun, dun.
This week I got excited about Young Justice. I guess more specifically the latter half of season 3.
Oh, the good side of Teen Titans.
Yeah, so during the last week, I got the chance to catch up on the show. The second half, season 3 came back July 2nd, but, shit hit the fan this summer.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know Young Justice, it's a DC animated series that aired freaking in 2009, Sal. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, this show is fucking 10 years old now.
My God.
The first 2 seasons aired on Cartoon Network, but then was tragically canceled over, unfortunately, some toy funding disputes.
Cartoon Network. What is wrong with you?
Well, it was more Mattel, but anyway,
Mattel.
Tangent.
What is wrong with you?
It was renewed. It's okay because it was renewed in 2016, and then it began airing this year in January on the DC Universe.
Yes. I think it was originally supposed to be on Netflix, though, right?
I think there were rumors about Netflix putting it, going to renew the show, but I don't think that ever really went through.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, but I think that only began because the first 2 seasons were on Netflix for a bit.
Got it.
Anyway, so the show was and is right now still developed and produced by Brandon Vietti and Greg Weisman. Apologies if I butchered your names. And it follows the young heroes of the DC Universe. Sal brought them up earlier, but season 1, we're following Robin, Kid Flash, Aqualad, Superboy, Artemis, and Miss Martian initially. And then season 2, we add some of our favorites like Beast Boy and Wonder Girl and Batgirl and Blue Beetle. And then when we get to season 3, this is the part...
When we hit season 3, everything just hits the fan.
Yeah, this is when things get, exciting. Because these are people I've never heard of. We've got Halo, we've got Geoforce, we have Forager. I have never once heard of these people. And that was really exciting.
They just pulled out all the stops when it comes to characters in this season. So many obscure characters that you'd never think would get to see the light of day.
But I mean, that's one of the great parts of this show because they always pull we'll call them DC side characters, the less popular ones, into the limelight. All of season 1, we got so much of Red Tornado, and I never seen him before. Except for on Batman Brave and the Bold, but that was something else, and I love that show.
Yeah. I forgot about Red Tornado. I love him.
Right? Oh my God, he was their den mother.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, back to the exposition. So the premise of the show is that the sidekicks of the DC Universe are tired of being treated like children, and they're creating a team that operates under the Justice League that is meant for covert operations. Along with watching these young adults deal with supervillain threats, we get to watch them handle the normal teenage life stuff like high school, the relationships, family drama. And that's one of the amazing parts of the show. It's one of the strengths that they do really well of just having this great balance of action and what I'll call slice of life.
Yes.
And, we absolutely just adore this show. Sal, I was in middle school going to high school when this freaking show came out.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Where was I No, I don't think I watched it when it first came out. I think I didn't watch it until after I graduated.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was strangely, this was part on Cartoon Network's, what they called the DC Nation block. Which is
wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, which all of it tragically got canceled during that time. But I don't know. I don't remember much advertisement for it other than on the network.
Yeah, no, I think the most advertisement we got out of that was for because wasn't Teen Titans Go on there?
No, actually Teen Titans Go is what replaced this show.
Oh, but was there was minisodes though, right?
Teen Titans Go? No, we had Young Justice and Green Lantern, the animated series.
Right. Oh, I could have sworn there was something. Anyway.
But, I have incredibly fond memories of just watching Justice League and Justice League Unlimited and Teen Titans with my sister when I was in elementary school. So, when this show came on, it just slotted really nicely into my regularly scheduled programming. And like I said, the show kind of pulls, they know you've already seen all the big, the big 3 of DC. And they'll show you them occasionally, but they start pulling some characters you never seen. Like, this was really the first time I'd ever seen Zatanna do anything, and more of Dr. Fate. And because of Young Justice, I fell in love with Zatanna and Dr. Fate and the whole magical side of the DC universe. Like, after this, I watched what was it? Justice League Dark and the Constantine animated series. And I mean, well,
yeah, those characters are so great. I got into Zatanna because she first popped up on Smallville.
Whoa.
She was she was in like 2 episodes, and then they like brought her back for some later episodes, but I was like, who the heck is this chick? She's so cool. She can use magic.
She can use magic, but she's also a stage magician. That's so fun.
Yeah. So then I looked her up, and then I dived into like Constantine and Justice League Dark, and oh man, the magic side of DC is so cool.
It's wild. Anyway, so, Young Justice had all this team up action that I'd grown up with and had craved, but I think mainly because it was that period of time, early high school, that it meant so much more to me. The show was just super relatable. It was around that time, and I think, most people at that early age start feeling helpless, or at least I did. And hey, this show was something that said, hey, young person, you aren't so powerless in this world. You do have a voice. Young people can do amazing things. And I was just so happy to have a show like this in my life. And, now as an adult, which air quotes around adult.
Very much so for us.
I'm really starting to appreciate, like, media like this that's targeted at younger audiences. This media that empowers young people and tells them that they can make a difference. And Sal, you had brought up like young adult comics before, when you were talking about Raven and the Wonder Twins, and I want to say, did you say Image Comics was the publisher?
No, it's still under DC.
But there was a specific publisher I'd mentioned that was doing like young adult. Oh. That, like, when we had been talking about the Raven, or not Raven, but like the Wonder Twins and those ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that one is Wonder Comics.
Okay, there we go. That sounds right.
And then, so it was Wonder Comics, DC Inc., and then DC's Young Animal.
There we go.
But they're all owned by DC.
Which, oh my god, DC's owned by Warner Brother, I think, and now Disney owns Marvel.
Yeah.
Anyway, ignoring corporations and conglomerates. Yeah, you had brought this up before, and how nice it is to have, those comics that were aimed at younger audiences that kind of dealt with these real teen. Oh Lord.
I heard it and I was like, uh-oh. While we wait for that, I will say I'm glad you had Young Justice for that whole like middle school, high school thing, because that's what Smallville was to me.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'm glad you got to have that same experience.
This blasted clock. I want to say something. I mean, that's cool. DC is, I feel like now, within the last 5 years, I feel kind of bad now that I was one of the people shitting on DC just because of the DC cinematic movies.
Yeah, it has a very big influence, but it's just kind of overshadowed by Marvel's MCU. So,
but like, there's so many of these wonderful shows that you grew up on Smallville, and now I grew up on Young Justice, that that is comforting.
Yeah.
Anyway, where was I before the blasted clock came in? Yeah, you had brought up like how nice it was that we had these young adult comics that dealt with like real young people problems. Yeah, and I mean, that's what Young Justice is too, except now it's an animated show,
which is way more accessible for people that kind of like don't like reading and stuff.
There we go. Thank you. All right, now bear with me as I go into this next point. Now, Sal, would you agree that television networks are afraid to air shows that contain challenging plots or storylines?
Absolutely.
Cool, because I feel like there was a really huge shift in tone when Young Justice went from Cartoon Network to the DC Universe. And I think it was one of the benefits, that having them move to the DC Universe as if they chose, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
I think the producers and the writers and the directors and just the whole crew, they got a lot more freedom when it came to the stories they wanted to tell. Now, of course, I don't have any proof to substantiate that claim. But, I think when you look back on this current season, and I don't know how much you've seen, but don't worry, I'm not spoiling anything. If you look back on the current season, I feel like the proof is just in the topics they included in this season's plotline. Just like in this most recent episode, they brought up the topic of genetic engineering and ethics surrounding eugenics. Like, what the hell, Young Justice?
Yeah, it definitely has shifted, and you can tell the writers were so excited because of the amount of just things they bring up. Like, they bring up like alcoholism and
like I wrote this down, like other topics that they had this season. We have human trafficking. We had questions surrounding gender identity. We had domestic abuse, like you're saying, alcoholism.
Yeah, it's really great. And like the best part is the whole like Center for Teen Youth.
Oh my gosh,
being
yes.
like the main focus of this season, so that they can go in and explore those topics, I think is so genius.
I feel, and I don't know, it's just like they explore these topics, and it's not it feels in a very real way. I don't know. It's like, it's believable. I can look at these animated teenagers and feel like, holy shit, this is real.
Yeah, it's good. And because, like, I don't know if you could tell this on like normal television networks, but when they do bring up these kind of subjects, they like to kind of put a bow on it at the end and kind of be like, everything's okay. But it's a lot more complex than that.
Yeah, they treat it, at least I feel like they're treating it on Young Justice right now, as like, hey, these are persistent issues and we're working to deal with it.
Yeah. And so they definitely do a better job of portraying these kinds of problems.
You mentioned when on like a television network, when they bring up these problems, or just them bring it up. But honestly, I can't remember, or at least right now I can't remember, any animated show that was targeted for young people that wanted to get anywhere near these kinds of topics, though.
You're right. Not for animated television.
No.
I was thinking more like live.
Oh,
action.
yeah, like I can think of plenty of CW shows that touch this, but like I bring up I specifically pinpoint animated shows because it's such a big thing for us growing up as children.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. And now that I think about it, I think that's why so many people liked anime so much. Because I think anime isn't afraid to dive into these kinds of topics, but American animation was.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I asked you the question at the beginning. I don't know why I'm so reluctant now. I do think it's just television networks are afraid to display these kinds of stories out of, I guess, fear of viewership.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting better though, right?
I don't. Well, I want to say yes because we did have Cartoon Network air Steven Universe. Albeit with like so many delay issues on no fault of the Steven Universe crew.
Mm-hmm. And my mind goes back to like Legend of Korra, where they kind of weren't trying to have that story told. But yeah, they very much don't like that for some reason. I don't know. I think they're just afraid of losing viewership out of how challenging the stories are. But anyway, just back to Young Justice of like, hey, they're not afraid to show these stories, and it's amazing. And I bring this point up, and I think we've stayed on this so long.
because of just like a recent email chain I was in. So I'd been emailing my previous employer asking for a letter recommendation. And by the way, thank you, Amy, if you ever hear this somehow.
Hey, Amy, what up?
And she had said that she felt like things were so much harder for me compared to when she was younger. And I thought, oh, geez, I hope I didn't make her worry or anything, right?
Right.
But it got me thinking about, like, people younger than me. And, like, I feel like kids and teens nowadays have it, like, way worse than either me or you, like, growing up.
Right. And, like, these kinds of shows and stuff, it takes them forever to adapt to the new generation, too.
It does. Like, I can't think of any shows like me growing up with issues that were relatable.
Yeah.
Maybe outside of Adventure Time, but anyway.
That was an anomaly.
Anyway, I like to joke about how old we are and us being disconnected with the youth. But I think there's a little sad truth in that. I feel like the kinds of problems and hardships that young people are facing today, the things that they have to be worried about when they wake up, it's just so soul-crushingly difficult. And I don't feel like I can empathize with them anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's important to connect with the next generation.
It is. It's so very important to, be open and receptive to their concerns. But I don't know, it was just this concern I had that, like, our experiences now seem so fundamentally different despite maybe just like a 5-year difference. Yeah. But anyway, let me bring it back because I think it's getting a bit too serious was all.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about Young Justice this week. It's something I love. It's something you love, Sal. It's something I've grown now as an adult. I've grown to really appreciate. And I guess I just want to end by thanking everyone who worked on this show for giving us a show that isn't afraid to show the real kinds of struggles young people are going through, for showing that young people do indeed have a voice, and for making a show that tells them, hey, you can do it.
Yeah. I will, if my cynical side can just pop in real quick. It's about the show, not the not the topic. But one of the things, like, I love that they're bringing in all these cool characters. But oh man, is it overwhelming at times? The amount of characters they have, and the fact that they will, like, stay on this group of characters for like 10 episodes, and then you're like, well, what happened to the other characters?
Oh my god, this season has been like a Game of Thrones season, to be honest. Yeah,
I'm just like, what is Batgirl doing? What is Tim Drake doing?
Oh my gosh, we haven't seen like Tim Drake's crew in so long, and I'm like, oh please, I want to know more about like Arrowette and Spoiler.
Yeah, especially they're like, hey, Arrowette and Spoiler are gonna be in the series, but we're not gonna do anything with them. At least not yet. At least not yet. It's not over.
at the time of this recording, I think we have like either 2 or 3 episodes still to be released for this season.
Oh, well, I thought there were more.
But DC Universe did announce that they were renewed for a 4th season.
Yes, which is really great. There's a lot of, like, this season in particular has opened the door to so many side stories and stuff, and the world has become so massive that they like need more seasons.
Oh yeah, or like not, I hope they don't do this, maybe they need to kill some people. so maybe it's time to condense.
Speaking of killing real fast, like, so It's so funny because the character Halo can die and regenerate herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first time she dies and stuff, they're like, oh crap, oh, but it's okay. But now because she can die and regenerate, they just take every opportunity they can to kill her.
Yeah, no,
and I'm just like, Why?
It's like comedic.
Yeah. I just thought that was funny because they won't ever put anyone else in like that dangerous situation, but they just kill Halo off as if she's just this throwaway character because she could just regenerate.
Yeah, no, in the 3 seasons, like there have been miles more like precarious situations, while meanwhile like scenes with Halo, like just one random sword swing and she's dead.
Yeah. I just think that's kind of hilarious.
Now, oh gosh, but I love her. She's a cinnamon roll too.
Yeah, she's great.
Anyway, listeners, like, if you've never checked out Young Justice, or if you're behind the season, I implore you to watch this show, just because it's wonderful, and it's one of those forces of good right now that deserve some attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those shows where, before season 3 came out, I went back and seen seasons 1 and 2.
Oh my god, me too.
Yeah, they still stand the test of time. They're great.
They're great. But season 3 is phenomenal, I think. Especially,
oh yeah,
they went like, you can see, like I said, that tonal shift where they went with the story.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that because, you know, being already on season 3, it could probably be daunting, and you might not want to be like, I have to slog through seasons 1 and 2. No, seasons 1 and 2 are still really great. Just watch it. It's like the whole series is good.
All right, and that was what we got excited about this week. Somehow, both DC properties.
Both related to the Teen Titans.
Oh my goodness, that too. You know what? Young adult properties are great, and we need more of them.
Absolutely.
Listeners, thank you so much for joining and enthusing with us. I want to say especially today, following like our friend's wedding and this topic, which was really important to us. Just thank you for joining us. If you liked what you heard, consider sharing it with a buddy so you can nerd out together. And if you want to help out the show, then review on our iTunes or our Stitcher pages. They go a long way towards podcast visibility. If you have any recommendations for the show, feel free to put them in the comments of our SoundCloud page. You know, those recommendations are like improvements to the show or things we should check out. If you want to see pictures from our recent, or not recent, but, convention coverage, or we got a picture of me and Sal and our friend Jake during his wedding, and we look pretty dapper, if I do say so myself. You can find that on our Instagram. If you like what we do here on Those Nerds Over There and you want to help produce the show, then maybe consider becoming a patron. It's thanks to the support of our patrons that we get to make this show, that we get to set aside this time and make this show. It's like a privilege. And thanks for that, we try to also make some bonus content for you guys. I think there's a pretty hilarious video that Sal got us to eat some Carolina Reaper jerky that you get access to as a patron. If you want a place to hang out with us, then feel free to join our Discord. We have dedicated channels for topic discussion, show improvements, nut jar offerings. Just links to all these pages can be found on our website, thosenerdscast.wixsite.com/home. That's WIXSITE.com/home. Sal, do you have anything to plug?
Yes. So, first of all, serendipity aside, it is good to be back, even if it's just been 1 week. I didn't realize how much I love doing this, so thanks again for all the support. But if you want to find me on social media, I'm at Salzik on Twitter, at Mr. Salzik on Instagram, Salzik also on Twitch, which I should be going back soon as I finish 3 houses.
Woo!
And my blog, gotamoment.com.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at Arielize_. I don't post too much on Twitter, but there is something else I want to get your guys' attention for. Let's say it's like a call to action. Kind of recently in the US, not great things have been happening, and the country is always on a shortage of blood. I'm not a vampire, But to anyone of our listeners here in Nevada or Southern Nevada, Las Vegas, Clark County area, there's going to be a blood drive happening at Wimma Library on August 16th. That's on a Friday. And I don't know if they would very much appreciate like drop-ins. I'm not like a spokesperson for them. I'm not anyone employed by them. I have no relation to them whatsoever. I'm not even a phlebotomist or anything. I've been trying to donate blood ever since I was 18, and it's one of those important things to me. And I'll be there on the 16th, and if you catch me and you donate blood, hit me up. I will buy you lunch. But to anyone else not in Las Vegas or, donating that day, like I said, the country is always on a shortage of blood. And it's worth a call to whatever your local blood donation center is to see, hey, if you're eligible and getting more information if you've ever been interested. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping comes out of this. Thank you again for listening. Thank you so much. And we'll see you again next Wednesday.
Goodbye.